The A4, better known as V-2, ignites from a forest clearing. Liquid oxygen meets alcohol. Gyros hold attitude. Graphite jet vanes steer the flame. Impact arrives supersonic without warning. Length 14.03 meters. Diameter 1.651 meters. Fin span 3.56 meters. Launch mass 12,870 kilograms. Warhead 975 kilograms. Explosive fill 910 kilograms. Engine thrust at sea level 245 kilonewtons. Engine thrust at altitude 30 metric tons. Propellants 75% ethanol with water and liquid oxygen. For scale, the silhouette stands beside a 1.8-meter human. Add a city bus outline at 12 meters size, context becomes obvious, labels stay minimal. Doctrine favors movement batteries roam by night, assemble fast fire, then vanish. Mobile launch belts stretch toward cities' ballistic arcs, outrun defenses and morale buckles. Flight time to London on a 320-kilometer shot is 5 minutes. The long-range apogee reaches 88 kilometers. Top speed during flight hits 3,400 miles per hour. Blueprint unwraps wireframe blooms to skin. Load paths glow along longerons. Engine thrust resolves into bulkheads. Structure chooses order over chaos. Plan form reveals tank volumes. Baffles tame slosh at rotation. Center of gravity stays disciplined within envelope control. Authority survives the climb. Packaging is ruthless. Turbopump and steam generator sit tight by the chamber. Short lines cut losses. Guidance lives forward for access and thermal sanity. Control hardware divides labor. Graphite vanes for dense, plume fins for thin air. 2 regimes, 1 intense stability during boost, then clean ballistic flight. Feed architecture matters. Valves route propellants with minimal bends to pre-chambers. Fewer turns mean fewer bubbles. Cavitation dies early. Injection stays even. Thrust enters through a rigid engine truss. Stringers and rings spread load. Cylindrical skin resists buckling under acceleration. Geometry earns its keep. Fin roots hide compact actuators behind sealed covers. Linkages avoid debris. Ingress authority stays crisp when dynamic pressure climbs. Warhead seating lands on a reinforced bulkhead. Alignment pins lock true. Fuse cabling skirts hot zones. Handling remains survivable even under stress. There are no aerodynamic brakes here. Vectoring does the work. Vane housings shield actuation from radiant heat. Service panels invite fast swaps. The tail cone tapers to reduce base drag. Fin planform balances stability and weight. Riveted skins over ribs by stiffness without exotic materials. The nose fairing shelters guidance and fusing behind accessible ports. Inspection windows where present expose instruments. Maintenance wins, minutes doctrine demands. A centerline keel and belly stiffeners carry bending loads in transport. Panels resist oil canning. Integrity holds under jacks, cranes, and rough roads. Pre-launch recirculation chills lines. Controlled drains manage trim. Balanced tanks keep inlets wet. Startup remains stable when the switch flips. The chamber and injector work as one. Perforations feed a film-cooled throat. High heat meets thick walls. Longevity measured in seconds still requires design. The bell nozzle expands exhaust efficiently. Throat size sets pressure. Near-throat graphite survives heat, then erodes predictably. Consistency becomes control. Steam-driven turbopump spins into life. Gearbox couples twin stages. Pressurized propellants hit injectors evenly. Starvation never gets a foothold. Control law blends vane deflection early, fin input later. Reason density falls with altitude effect authority stays matched to the air. Start sequence flows, peroxide decomposes to hot steam and oxygen. Turbine turns, valves crack, igniter glows, interlocks, insist on order before fire. Acceleration builds as propellant mass falls and mixture warms. Guidance caps angles, structure endures. The climb stays inside margins. Operating bands protect the chamber and lines from thermal overreach. Push too far and burn through stalks, the throat controllers keep it shy of that edge. Fuel manifolds split evenly. Oxidizer lines track shortest paths. Reduced losses buy steadier mixture combustion, stays clean plume, stays centered. Actuator loops route through protected channels redundancy where mass allows. If a pathway fails, control limps yet lives, authority degrades gracefully. DC buses feed guidance and actuation. Generator takes over after light off. Batteries shoulder pre-launch loads, blackouts are a countdown killer. Thermal conditioning matters, chill down kills, vapor lock. Vents relieve pressure. Purge clears oxygen-rich pockets, fire finds less to eat. Linkage tolerances define response, backlash breeds drift. Shaft brake locks during transport, no surprise motion in crosswinds. Emergency doctrine is physical fire lines, quick disconnects, safing pins. When countdown scrub hardware listens, humans re-enter a cold vehicle. The Warhead mounts on damped supports to filter vibration. Isolation protects sensitive parts, handling accidents lose their spark. Umbilicals carry power and checks, then release at liftoff. Clean routing avoids snags during erection, simplicity prevents spectacular mistakes. Guidance is inertial at heart rate gyros and integrators keep attitude. Boost follows a program. Beyond burnout, gravity writes the rest. Safing and arming refuse shortcuts, interlocks block premature enable. Timers and G-switches hand over only after stable flight begins. Mass trades directly with range. Lighter throws travel farther. The chart draws consequences, plainly payload, greed shortens reach. Launch dynamics demand clearance supports let go as thrust owns the stack. Jet vane trimming keeps plume-centered strikes against hardware never happen on purpose. The guidance box blends sensors with an autopilot tuned for few variables. Fewer parts, fewer failures. Robustness is a wartime luxury. A preset pitch program shapes the boost, no corridor, no range. The effect is repeatability. Apogee and footprint stop wandering. Envelope discipline protects the airframe angles and rates stay inside. Safe arcs keep fins from stalling, authority never collapses suddenly. Winds aloft shift footprints. Teams pick windows and offsets. Small azimuth nudges compensate. Accuracy tightens without miracles. Plots compare programmed path to live telemetry deviations, trigger aborts. Countdown logic prefers caution, hardware returns to safe if truth disagrees. Crew roles triangulate commander engine guidance. Clear checklists under stress reduce error, discipline replaces adrenaline. Sightlines matter, erector crews confirm vertical with simple tools. Line of sight beats romance with instruments, errors shrink before fueling. Annunciators tell truths, turbopump healthy, generator alive, valves obedient. One red light cancels bravado, scrubs safe, revisit. Emergency egress is mapped paths, avoid plume and debris. Jettison zones steer risk away from populations, safety remains a design choice. Startup is choreography, peroxide steam, spin, Pre-flow ignite. Interlocks police the order. Chaos never gets the first move. Transport erection alignment. Meillerwagen lifts erector steadies. Pins and clamps lock geometry. Vertical confirmed before cryogen meets metal. Ignition release vanes write the first corrections. Pitch program engages as velocity builds trajectory hues close to nominal. Engine cutoff occurs at 60 seconds. The missile then coasts on a ballistic arc. Guidance stops steering. Impact velocity is 800 meters per second. No terminal seeker accuracy yields to ones and manufacture. Slenderness and stiffness shape handling two flexible control lags. The right ratio keeps bending tame commands arrive as intended. Thrust to weight sets climb margin. Burnout velocity sets reach. Push harder, climb cleaner range grows without theatrics. High angles near max dynamic pressure invite buffet. The program refuses vanity structural loads, stay survivable. Lose a jet vane, and authority fades. Lose a fin, and stability slips. Abort logic prevents launch with obvious damage. Ambition yields to safety. Battery spacing protects crews, and cadence separation denies sympathetic hazards. Discipline keeps the line moving under pressure. Operational range for wartime shots is 320 kilometers. Cadence then bows to logistics, fuel maintenance, and roads decide tempo. Unit practice favors dispersal camouflage mobility. Soft. Behind the engineering, forced labor builds these weapons. History demands we name it. Archive footage proves claims without spectacle. Clean frames, verified dates. We refuse propaganda angles, evidence over theater. Takeaway. Mechanism first, repeatable effect, reasons that endure. Engineering echoes forward, history gives warnings, and boundaries we do not cross.